Here's free money. It's basically free money night here on Fight Night. Get all the free monies here immediately, as quickly as you possibly can.
That's, and so like Jack Attack was saying, you can enter, possibly win a gift card, and also head over to matcherino.com and you can donate. Basically, you put in this code for the match, and you add $1 to the prize pool at no cost to yourself.
That's right.
So do that. You like these players? Do it even if you don't like these players. We always love to see when the players get a little bit more money.
Yeah, and if you don't like True a lot and you are kind of neutral on Welmu, you can just throw money at the whole thing anyway, because you're like, oh, I don't like True, he'll probably lose. Welmu, there we go. I'm actually giving the money to him because the money goes to further the prize pool, and Welmu's the best, and Protoss is OP as soon as they get in the sky. So, then you know. Yep. The race with the most balls will win, and carriers will be made, and it'll be beautiful. What the fuck? Oh, wait a minute. We've been killing time this whole time, and you didn't tell us we were offline. Oh, real. What the fuck? You're a dick. All right, real quick, before you go online. I did the right thing, right? There's going to be like a little map intro before each map. Okay, and that's going to be before each map? Okay, cool. All right. Okay, go.
Two adepts up to True's base, getting a little bit of scouting information.
Yep, absolutely. Making the adept thing cancelable, I think, was such a cool move from Blizzard. You see a lot of players using the hell out of it and making crazy stuff, and obviously the players against the Protoss not necessarily happy about it, but I think it makes it super duper fun. I just want to throw in real quick, you guys missed the best jokes that I've ever told in my life because we weren't actually streaming. I will try to outdo them here with QXC. Things are going good, and got a 4 slow links, fast links coming across the map, joined in by their brethren.
But Welmu's got no issues here. The 2 adepts were basically just to check for, big roach timing, lack of drones, something like that. He saw everything was normal. He takes that fast third base, and he's in a fine defensive position. Meanwhile, True is actually going up to a 4th hatchery already off pretty low gas. Right now, he's just started. He actually went up to 4 hatcheries with the only gas that he mined was the 100 that he used to get speed.
Yep, and now he's taking like every gas almost.
Yeah, he's got four extractors being made and a roach warren going down, plus the 4th hatchery. So he's going to be going into pretty heavy, probably heavy 4-base something.
I usually like a little bit of 4-base something against my opponent's 3-base something. It always makes me quite happy. And that's I think that's just one of these side effects of the fast fourth, is just like, man, just getting used to it. Like, oh wow, people are just expanding like crazy. This is nuts. And I think it provides a lot of opportunities for players to do more harassment. We have a lot of options for opening up really map development as well.
Yeah, both players are going to be pretty spread out. There's going to be a lot of compared to Heart of the Swarm, there's a lot more stuff to defend and a lot less stuff to defend it with. 3 bases, 5 minutes into the game, and each player has less than 100 supply, and soon they're going to want to be aggressive. True will finish droning within 1 or 2 rounds, and then he's going to be making a lot of units, probably putting down a 5th base, securing map control. Meanwhile, Welmu is kind of on the clock here. He needs to do something to advance his position, whether that's doing a timing attack or getting a 4th base down. He's not going to be able to sit defensively on 3 bases for much longer.
Yeah, we got 7 gates coming in, +2 and Blink, which has been strong since the dawn of the very first broadcasted alpha match of StarCraft 2. Guess what? +2 and Blink is still awesome. And he's going to go ahead and say, embracing the awesomeness of +2 and Blink, he's going to go ahead and move forward. He's got his beginning adepts, a couple of sentries, and stalkers, of course, as well. Gonna go ahead and clear out that Overlord, and he's not sending that Observer out to do any scouting, so he doesn't know about this huge Ravager Ling coming in from True here.
Yep, and True has gotten some drones at his 4th, but right now he's basically making nothing but Lings. Spire on the back foot of this, so he's going to put a lot of pressure on. Go up to 8 gas geysers and transition into mutas if he feels it's appropriate. Meanwhile, Welmu's got to figure out how to deal with this many Ravagers and Lings.
Awesome. Okay, here we go, coming in. We have the full moving around. He's going to try to hold all this stuff in place so he can shoot down the Ravagers' corrosive files. Units warping in at the same time. The Photon Pylons are defending quite well, and he's out of Lings, so he's going to run away quite as quickly as he can. The Stalkers, of course, are faster than the Ravagers, so they're going to try to hunt them down. The Lings coming in. One Ravager almost getting picked off here. Man, he's just trying to keep this amount of tanking up in front with the Lings, but he's really got to keep these Ravagers alive. Worth a lot of gas, worth a lot of money. Got to really be careful. Oh, wow. Preempting that Blink there. Excellently done. Does manage to kill a Stalker. Hoping for a little bit more there. But man, this endless reinforcement is crazy. However, we do, of course, have the Warp Prism nicely focused down by those corrosive files, but he's losing all of the Ravagers in trade. Not the best situation to be having. Nice little zoning corrosive vials there to protect his final 2 Ravagers as the retreat commences, taking a 5th base in the background.
Yeah, and that was an extremely brave and aggressive way for Welmu to defend that. There were a number of times where he could have easily backed up and consolidated his position and be fine, but he chose to continue pressuring, and now he's actually very much on the aggressor in this game. The interesting thing, too, is Welmu defended that with basically pure Stalkers, and True was going mutas in the background, so these mutas are not quite as dangerous as they would be if Welmu had gone other units.
Absolutely. Really nice corrosive vials. Again, True just really nailing all these corrosive vials, noticing the units that are slow or staying still, targeting them down. That mothership core getting eliminated right away and is not being rebuilt. The aggressive counterattack move around. Wow, he's really completely avoiding the army. This is almost like a base trade scenario. He's going to move in. Welmu's going to be taking out this base in short order, and I don't know, these Mutalisks don't have a lot of defense against them here, just 1 photon cannon. And what is Welmu going to do? He's going to think about it, and all right, we are in full swing base race scenario. Zerg units moving across the map. Terran, Protoss units on the other side of the map as well.
And True does have a bit of an edge here. He was able to get into his opponent's main base and start doing more lethal damage than his opponent was first. You can see that True is basically already on the production. He's denied a couple of warp-ins here, whereas Welmu is only just now entering the main base of True. And also the supply, the 4th base from Welmu, the probes that went there all got slaughtered, so Welmu has no probes on the map. So he won't be able to really rebuild here, whereas True's got those 2 hatcheries on the outside. Either one of those could be producing drones for him to continue that base trade, or even just as a place for his army to fall back to once he's done enough damage at Welmu's main.
Yeah, as far as production is concerned, he's not even really caring about drones too much. He's trying to rebuild some overlords, but mostly he's been just making links, sending them across the map. He knows that if he has enough link count, he's going to be able to shut down these stalkers super hard when the time comes for these armies to engage, if the time even comes at all. The Protoss base being absolutely ripped to shred right now. Photon pylons trying to take some things down, but it doesn't seem to be enough to kill any of these Mutalisks here. And that Mothership Core will be taken out. Mothership Core really valuable in a base race scenario, but it looks like it's not going to be enough. And oh, wow. All these Stalkers going home. He's just going to leave a single Sentry and an Adept to go ahead and try to take out this base, as well as a couple Stalkers and Zealots in the main. But this is looking really nice for True.
And we do see that Welmu has used his last bit of money to put in a simulator down in the left-hand corner. I'm not sure that True knows that there's anything else on the map, but here Welmu moves in, and he's going to try and take a fight here. He knows that all of True's army is stuck in the base, and he can use some Blink Micro here to abuse that ramp.
Yep, really excellently done. The main weakness that he has is, of course, having to deal with these lings, and of course the corrosive bile singly being there is quite nice as well, but it's not quite enough. Really nice use of terrain here, like you said before, targeting down a lot of these Mutaliths, but it may not be enough. He's pushing through. Are there enough Zerglings in the end to finish this off? It looks like there are.
Yep. True's going to be able to clean this up with the few units that are left out on the map. He doesn't quite have enough to actually kill the right hatchery, which is the main thing keeping True from being eliminated in this game. Meanwhile, he really has nothing else going on for him. There's no income, there's no production. True has just started some drones here, so he's going to be able to get an economy going. Welmu's just scouted the hatchery on the right side here, and I think he's going to realize pretty soon, GG, True takes game number 1.
Wow, what an awesome game to start off the night. True's going to take game 1. Excellently done there. That intense, very intense base race kind of scenario. In one time in game, but True is just so on point with the predicting Welmu's motion with these corrosive biles, and it's something that I haven't really seen yet, even in like the high level Zerg play so far. And just like the amount of focusing that's going on, and just sort of, oh, okay, he's going to be here. Oh, you're going to warp in. Well, I'm going to make you pay for that because now you have no more warp ins, and your warp prism is gone. It's like, oh, your mothership core is staying still for a second. That's dead. Just really, really nice use of the Ravager there, and hopefully we'll get to see some more of it this game. Next, coming up, got Bridgehead LE. It's going to be quite nice. Please go to Matcherino, go to Azubu, do the stuff with the things, and of course, we're also brought to you by Spawning Tool. Spawning Tool, one of the coolest things on Earth. You want to find out what the meta is? Go instantly and find out. You can check out all the highest level replays. You can even combine that with in-game salt to get an audio build order and learn build orders right away. But here we are on Bridgehead.
And just to expound a little bit on what Matcherino is, you go to Matcherino and you can donate money to this prize pool, donate to your favorite players. Also, for each series, we're going to have a coupon code. You can go to Matcherino, put in that coupon code, log in with your Twitch account, and you'll donate money for free. Matcherino will cover $1 per account for that coupon code. So all you got to do is head over there. The link will be in the chat, and you can basically just get Matcherino to subsidize this match. Give us some more money for these players. Yeah. I think that's the right word, right?
No, I was just like really, it was like subsidize. That's perfect. That is the perfect word. And this is actually a game of StarCraft. And unlike Heart of the Swarm, we don't have as much time to screw around in the beginning of the game because stuff starts off right away. So without any further ado at all, I'm just going to go ahead and introduce these players. We've got spawning on the left side of the map. It's the Red Protoss, Welmu.
And on the right side of the map, spawning with the Zerg player already going up to a quick 3 hatcheries, it's Psystorm's True. All right, so Nexus first, once again, against Fast 3 hatchery. Both players doing it blind. And that's kind of where the meta is at in Legacy of the Void right now, at least between these two players. I wouldn't be surprised to see either player trying something a little cheekier on a map that's not quite as defensive as this. Just like on Orbital Shipyard, you have an in-base natural, and that will lead Bridgehead to generate more macro-oriented builds in the opening.
For sure. The unique feature, of course, on Bridgehead, if you're not familiar with it, is these back rocks. So while it is safe, like Orbital Shipyard, to take your backdoor expansion, that safety erodes during the course of the game as the armies get bigger, and knocking down those destructible rocks becomes more and more feasible of an option. And then you have to really defend 2 locations at once. It's really one of those maps that you get to that point where you have to defend multiple locations at once pretty much faster than any map.
Yeah, Bridgehead it's easily one of the most interesting maps that we've seen in present times. Basically, it gives you an in-base expansion, which is not super interesting, but it's at least unique compared to most of the current maps. The interesting part about Bridgehead is, like you said, the rocks open up an additional path into your main. But it's offset by the fact that the normal path into your main is a relatively small ramp into a relatively small choke. And so Bridgehead gives you kind of 2 openings, but one of them's not available right away, and one of those openings is relatively easy to defend because of that ramp, because of that small choke. So kind of an interesting set of balances and counterbalances, not just throwing it. We've seen some maps where it's like, you just have 2 entrances into your natural, and like you don't get any compensation. They're not easy to defend. They're both like Laralac, 2 entrances, both gigantic rabs. Neither one's easy to defend.
Good luck.
I really like Bridgehead for that reason. So again, we see the 2 adepts poking around here. There's enough lings that he doesn't want to commit with the adepts. He's just going to see what his opponent is making, and it actually looks like True is doing almost the exact same style as last game. As soon as Speed is finishing, he's making about 10, 14 lings, and his 4th hatchery has just started, and he'll be mining gas and taking additional gas geysers very soon.
Yep, so those lings stream across the map as before, scouted a little bit more earlier from these adepts, and he has that experience from last time. Welmu does, knowing what's going on. This cannon, a little bit on the late side. Ooh, nice surround on these adepts. They're not going to shade out. They don't really have time. They're going to be taken out very quickly here. Nicely done. Pylon overcharge, going to go ahead and block that path into the main. So nice little bit of damage here. A couple of adepts, grabbing a probe, and keeping actually most of the Zerglings alive. Generally speaking, you look at that as a sort of suicide mission. It's sort of like, they're not going to come out of this alive, but maybe they'll get some kills. But nicely done. He maintains those, so he keeps a little bit of map control, kind of weak, but he does get that scouting. He'll know when Welmu, and if Welmu is indeed moving out of this area.
Yep. So Welmu is now transitioning, adding additional gates. He's got +1 on the way. Meanwhile, True is going for double evolution chamber this game, so we're not seeing a Roach Warren the same way we saw in the last game. 4th hatchery has just finished, and he's starting to put on a lot of drones for that 4th hatchery. 13, 14 drones in production. A layer has not started yet, though, so True, defending these 6 gateways that are coming, he's going to be defending it with what looks like just mass ling. Layer has just started, but layer tech will not be done in time for that if Welmu is very aggressive about hitting his timing.
Yeah, and he's had these gases up for a while, but just now putting the workers into gas. Wonder what that is all about, just sort of managing his gas. He is actually, the Roach Warren's coming down, but he's getting melee attack upgrades. So definitely interested to see how this plans out on the other side of the map. We've got lots of gateway units beginning to warp in, and like you said, many of the gateways. So very similar to last time, and the pylon aggressively being placed forward, and it looks like so far it's not going to be scouted.
Yeah, the big difference here is Welmu is forgoing the Twilight Council. He's got no gases at his third expansion, and he's putting his Chrono Boost on his gateways. So there's no +2 coming, and he's actually just going to be going for a big 10 gate timing here. The aggressive pylon is already down. He's building a gateway at it, but that gateway is ill-timed. So for those of you who aren't familiar, in Legacy of the Void, warping in at an offensive pylon is slower now. Warping in at a pylon that's in range of a nexus or in range of a warp gate or in range of a warp prism is faster. So Welmu wants to get this gateway up to increase the warp time, but he really wants to be attacking now. So that warp gate should already be done.
Yep, absolutely. So in the meantime, he's going to take this fight. He's going to throw in a couple of force field stalkers in the front. Not exactly where you'd want them to be, but it's not too critical. Huge spine wall over here and some Ravagers in the back as well. It's going to be a tough nut to crack.
Yeah, and True did a really good job of seeing this big run by in the back.
And hang out in front of the base.
It's just waiting. True is doing something else. Welmu will be able to warp in units pretty quickly here back at home. He actually hallucinates a warp prism, which is interesting.
It's just hanging out there.
Yeah.
Maybe it's so corrosive bow shots. Not sure. We have the time warp coming down. The new Super Sword Telegraph time warp. He does have the links to come in from behind. They managed to get a stalker, but not too much overall. And these spine crawlers are going down. He really needs to get those links out of the front. The Ravagers are doing a pretty good job, but he's just sort of running out of units here. Really nice force field using that macro hatchery against True. Nice positional play. He's moving in. More units streaming in from behind, but they're only coming out a little bit at a time. This is really, really cost-inefficient engagement for True, but he's got that defender's advantage. He's got those units warping in at the last minute, and he really needs to... All right, he finally takes these lings around, attacks from another angle. That pathing was really killing him there.
Yep. And we do see Welmu is... It's hard to say exactly who's going to come out on top here because True has the advantage. Well, actually, he doesn't really have the defender's advantage in terms of production. Actually, this next round of units from Welmu is going to be enough to break, and you can see all these zealots coming in. True really needs roaches to deal with those zealots. There's just so many there. But he doesn't have enough larva right now. He doesn't have enough larva to spend all this money. You can see he's banking almost 1,000 minerals, 1,000 gas. And every single moment that goes by, Welmu gets a little bit more time on his production. A few more units get warped in, and you can see almost a 40 supply advantage here for Welmu now.
Oh, and he's going to move in here before the spine crawlers are finishing. Again, stalkers in the front. They're going to get taken out pretty quickly by these Zerglings, but there's just so much. This is just the hammer bludgeoning to death. True. There's nothing left for it but to GG out. There's just death and death and more death. And
really surprising here because it looked like True saw this coming in time.
Yeah.
He recognized the pylon. He picked off a number of units. He was building. He was putting all of his production toward making additional units, but it just ended up not being enough. He didn't really deal well with the few force fields that were boxing out a lot of his lings. If those could have come around the back. And then just, it seemed like the Ravagers were a little bit too late. He had 4 Ravagers. If he could have had 7 or 8 Ravagers when that push gets there, then that could have made the difference. But really strong, decisive timing from Welmu, and paid off.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like you said, the positioning that the Protoss was able to get into there, just that one force field was blocking all those lings, and they weren't being manually brought around, was really helpful. And Ravagers got caught up in front. The lings were behind. It was just working really well, and being able to get that full warp gate in. For those of you who are used to Heart of the Swarm, and you're like, wait, what's going on? Why is he putting a warp gate in the middle of the map? Like we explained a bit in the game, there are faster warp-ins whenever you're connected to a warp gate or a nexus. So getting that faster warp-in makes a really, really big difference. It's a 5-second warp-in versus a 16-second warp-in. It's insane. It's just, it makes a gigantic difference. And yeah, just True not able to make it happen with the lings there, and not building any roaches, interestingly enough, aside from those few Ravagers that were mixed in.
Yeah, I don't think roaches would have been... They wouldn't have made the difference that he needed with that hatchery at his front made it so easy for units to get force fielded out.
Yeah.
And he also had an abundance of gas at the end of the game, where roaches aren't really an effective way to use that. So also because of the limited larva, you wanted to make as many units as possible, as strong as possible, while using as little larva as possible. So basically every roach got turned into a Ravager, gave him a little bit more flexibility, but that fast warp in there, that warp gate turned out to be, it felt a little bit late, but it turned out to be exactly what he needed to break the front there.
Absolutely. And we are on to our next game already. We have spawning in the top left-hand corner of our screen. It's Psystorm's True
And in the bottom right-hand corner, the killer, the slayer, the Finnish overlord. It's Welmu. Nexus first? No. No, this is going to be a forge? Question mark? Boom. Called it.
And Kevin QXC Riley is 1 for 1 this evening with caster predictions. We will be keeping score for the rest of the evening as the probe moves across the map.
And it is hatchery first. I'm not sure. Right now it looks like he's going for a cannon rush because he hasn't sent a probe into his natural yet. If he wanted to put down that Nexus right at 400 minerals, he would have sent the probe. 2 for 2? Okay.
Kevin QXC Riley has moved on to 2 for 2 this evening. Looking good for him tonight. Jack Attack has made one prediction that it would be indeed cannon rush, so 1 for 1. And the casters are beating the players in terms of points scored. All right, so we got the photon cannon coming down here. It's a really interesting position here. Usually you see him like use the corners of the. He's just kind of going in the middle and just spamming. Like, I guess the idea is he can't kill all my photon cannons. If I put the pylon here, then I can have tons of space to build tons of cannons. Keep in mind, cannon rushing in this game, you get so many more minerals than you did cannon rushing Heart of the Swarm. So an interesting take on that, variation that's coming down. But I don't think it's going to be enough.
Not.
Well, how many drones do we have up the line now, right though? We're at a lot of drones here. We're at almost 16. We're at 13 drones off the line. That's 1 mineral every second for every second.
It's actually getting some drone kills. No,
wow.
Oh my god! That last cannon, the last 2 cannons. Is this really gonna work? What Welmu really needed is a second.
Oh my god!
A second probe right now. As soon as that first cannon finished and started killing drones and pushed the drones back, he could start putting on more pressure here. If there was a third or a fourth cannon that was halfway done, but from now, Welmu's just taking his natural. He's got a cannon and a gateway at his front, and he's forced a lot of units out of True.
That's crazy. That was about a minute of 13 workers off the line, so it's 780 minerals of lost mining time there for True. And I believe, Welmu only canceled 6 or 7 cannons, and he got some kills as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think Welmu's on top there, just from a resources standpoint.
Yeah.
Wow.
It felt like it wasn't going. It felt like it was going to be a huge waste. But as soon as those 2 cannons finished, and he actually picked up 4 drone kills. Right, like 4 drones. Yeah. That's a huge amount of money lost this early in the game.
Crazy.
Huge change. And now, even though True's natural, of course, was way earlier, his queen, his production, all these things are a lot faster. Losing 4 drones means that extra larva basically goes to waste. That third hatchery is later than it needs to be. And so,
and having less drones too, you have less drones to make use of that third hatchery anyway.
Right. True is going now and stuck basically making nothing but drones for some time to come, and Welmu could try and capitalize on this. There may be an opportunity here. Normally True would have speed, kind of on the way soon. It would be started right about now in the previous games that we saw. So Welmu may actually take his Zealot and Stalker and Mothership Core, do a little bit of pressure out on the map, but right now he's just got that Mothership Core in his main, I guess checking for potential Overlord drops.
Yeah, he is hunting this Overlord down. It's tough with the new Overlord drops because you can't tell whether an Overlord's a regular Overlord or a dropping Overlord. There's no visual indication at this point in time. So you always gotta be careful just in case. It doesn't take that much tech to happen. It's only 50 minerals and 50 gas. So just 8 lings in your base is it's crazy how much damage that they can get done in how much time.
Yep. So in Legacy of the Void, you now upgrade Overlords individually.
Right.
And it's available as soon as you get an Evo chamber. Takes 25 minerals, 25 gas. Takes about 12 seconds. That Overlord then is kind of a ninja, because like you were saying, it doesn't look any different. So if you don't see it upgrade, you won't know that it's coming in. So have to be a little more careful about leaving your base and knowing kind of what's going on out on the map. And meanwhile, it looks like speed. Let's see, where's... No, there is no speed.
Oh,
just started
yeah. Now, man. Quite a
very,
delay.
very late.
Yeah, and it works out well, too, because in that kind of situation, you really want to keep spotters in your base to know if there's any drops coming in. But also, on Legacy of the Void, the Nidus is very, very strong, much stronger than it used to be. So you kind of have two really, really good reasons to plan out your buildings as the Protoss player here accordingly and intelligently, so you have vision across all of your base and making sure you see anything that's coming into it or any Nidus that might be on the way.
Yep. And we do see now... So the big problem for Welmu right now is this Oracle is not getting him the information he needs. If
What?
Oh, there we go. All right.
But it is now.
Right when I ping it, Welmu changes direction. He sees the third base fully mining. He sees the roaches coming out. So Welmu now has a really good read on what True is going for. I'm not sure if it's enough, because it does feel like True has a substantial amount of units. Like, he's up 40 supply right now, but Welmu's got that
work right now.
Yep.
Oh man, that is brutal. Not only do you get some kills here, but you also force out a lot of lost mining time because they can't return to that situation. So you get all the way around, far away pickup from the Warp Prism. This is really great. And now the fear of the drop is in True. He knows the Warp Prism's out on the map. He knows the Adepts are in there. So he's going to be a little bit hesitant about making any... Oh, and he could just drop on the other side of the map here, but he's not going to.
Yeah, I mean, he can do whatever he wants because of the amount of buffering. The shields are basically a buffer against actually taking real damage. So he can drop the Adepts, take a bit of damage, kill some Lings, pick them up, go do some macro, rinse, repeat, and he's losing no supply. He's using some attention, but he's killing some units from True, and he's forcing True to leave a lot of these Zerglings back at home.
Absolutely. A lot more opportunities to spend attention to get damage done here in Legacy of the Void. Everything, however, being scouted by True. He knows all of the gateways are coming through. He knows there's a Templar Archives as well.
And the Spine Crawlers are actually going down here. He puts 5 down at his third base. It's going to be very awkward for him to defend that third base, though, because Welmu can always poke at it from behind. There's no way to prevent that without really taking a head-on engagement. Without Creep back there, the fight for True will not go as well as he would want. He can't really put the Spine Crawlers in position either.
Yep,
and you can see True actually canceled his fourth base because he knew he can't defend that position.
Yeah, really rough scenario here. Some of these minerals actually getting a little bit lower, so that should dissipate in time. In the meantime, setting up a nice little flank over here. He does have everything surrounded. What is in that? It's a double Archon drop. I love Legacy of the Void. He's got the 2 Archons in the Warp Prism ready to drop on whatever they need to drop on. Going to go right on top of that stuff. Really nice Corrosive Biles here. We do have a Colossus, but it is being not focused down at all. The Overseer there to see it is just a hallucination. Excellent positioning here. Nice flank, and it looks like the Zerg is going to clean this up.
Yep. And I think this attack was just too slow. There was a lot of damage that Welmu got out of that opening, but as soon as True was able to go up to full 3-base saturation, uncontested, with basically no tech. So Welmu did a lot of damage. The issue for Welmu was that True cut all of the corners that he needed in order to get back up economically. If True had done that same build in any of the previous games, Welmu would have punished him. He had that double gateway, double adept pressure. But with the speed, speed didn't start until 5:30. Speed was like 2-3 minutes later than it needed to be. But Welmu wasn't doing anything aggressive at that timing. And so True was able to get up to saturation he needed. He consistently scouted what Welmu was doing. He knew that Welmu was sitting on 2 bases with 7-8 gateways. There's really only one thing that could happen. True was ready for it with all those roaches, just crushed it.
Yep, absolutely. Really nice. It was definitely a little bit of scary moments there for some time, and just waited it out, very patient. And I don't know, do you think that, like in that kind of a scenario, like you said while we were in the game, he's going to go straight drones, he's going to cut all of his corners. Like, is that a read that you can take as the Protoss player and say, okay, I'm just going to take a third base and try to keep up economically? Or do you feel like your only option there is to, like, make them pay for droning up really hard?
I could easily see... This is one of those situations where you have to have a good read on your opponent to make the right call. Because you can easily imagine Welmu versus Bly. Same exact game, opens the exact same way. What does Bly do? Cuts drones, mass produces links.
Right.
And that's like a Bly thing to do, and that's what you would kind of expect. With True, I don't have as good of a read on him. I haven't played him as much recently, so I'm not really sure if that macro style is what you would normally expect from him. But the key thing for Welmu was he needed to get that earlier sentry so that he could get that hallucination going. And if he's not going to go for that early sentry, he's got to move out with the mothership core. He's got to sacrifice an adept. He needed to do something to find out True is going fast 3 base, fast mass drones, no tech, no units.
Yeah.
And then he could respond accordingly.
Absolutely. And we are going into our next game right away. The map is Dash and Terminal. Another one of these unique maps. We have a lot of unique maps moving into Legacy of the Void. Interesting things going on. Blizzard really wanting to push map diversity in this new game. And we have, starting off most directly, right away into the top center of the map, this strange thing that happens. We've got the blue Zerg. It's Psy Storm's True.
True. And in the middle right-hand corner, down 1-2 from Finland. It's getting late there. It must be chilly right now. But he can shake off the cold, burn it hot. It's Welmu. There's a pylon. This is an overlord.
Do those count as points for like prediction points? Well, you didn't predict that he would build an overlord.
I did not. I use a special prediction voice.
Ah, okay.
So
I'll keep that in mind.
If you ever have to ask yourself, is QXE making a prediction? The answer is no. It will be very obvious when I make a prediction.
Okay, very good. We do have Nexus first as well as Hatch first. Drum moving out right away, so looks like we're going to have another double hatch before pool.
Yep.
Really waiting for the meta to evolve. We get the 2 Nexus before gate. And we get like the 4 hatch before pool. I really think that's where it's going. You can put that to a Jack Attack prediction. 6 months from now, that'll definitely be the meta. Oh, yeah.
6 months? You think it'll take that long?
Yeah, yeah. It takes, people are going to find all the aggressive stuff and all the all-ins. And then 6 months from now, they realize, oh, check out all this greedy stuff we can do. And then they'll do it. They don't even comprehend the level of greed you can do in Legacy of the Void yet. It's just going to take 6 months at least of mental development of like, what the hell? I thought only cats did that. And then, no, actually, everyone's doing it.
And we do see, actually, no, this is basically what we've seen True do all the other games. Fast 3 hatch, pool, he's going to start mining gas, get speed. Welmu, meanwhile, core. He only has 1 gateway this time, and he is on fast double gas.
Yeah.
So he may be going for a faster tech this game.
Yeah, definitely possible to see some Stargate action just because the positions are really close by air. It turns out that the Oracle is still good in Legacy of the Void. Don't worry, it will evaporate drone lines just the same as it would. So have a potential option there, but this is Legacy of the Void. Anything can happen. Any tech can be going down.
There's
and we
Robo.
do have the Robo directly in the face of the
sees it.
Overlord. He's like, I don't even care. I know you have an Overlord coming. I'm going Robo. What are you gonna do about it? Get at me, bro. It's just like directly coming in there.
First Adept is coming out, Mothership Core. And again, he's going to use that First Adept to get some information about what his opponent's doing. He wants to know again, are you making Zerglings? Are you making drones? Meanwhile, True, doing almost the exact same build as all the other games, except for the one where he got Cannon Rush. Speed is about halfway, no gas being mined, and the Adept is now in. Ooh, gets 1. Is he going to get 2? Huh?
Oh, a little bit of miss micro there. Is he going to get killed? Wow. There.
Yep. He mistimed it just a little bit there.
Yeah.
Oh, and actually, okay, Welmu's going to go for a fast Warp Prism 4-gate. We can see the 3 gateways coming down here, chrono boosting out Warp Gate, chrono boosting the Warp Prism as well. And he may actually add a 5th gateway here because he's going to have money.
He's going to have to 4 gas.
Yeah, 4 gas. So maybe Sentry Drop. Meanwhile, that nope, 5th, 6th gateway, and that Overlord sees this. He sees the Warp Prism. The Overlord really just saw everything. 7 gateways. Welmu is just 8 gateways. All right. Are you done now, Welmu? Are you done?
10 gateways. And we have the Warp Prism coming across. The advantage of the Warp Prism is before you could just proxy pylons. Now, not such a big deal like we talked about before. But the Warp Prism benefits from that faster warp now available. So going to go ahead and get 3 Zealots going. Just gonna a little slow start to what's going on here. He's got the sentries back at home to defend. And meanwhile, we've got spine crawlers and roaches for the defense of True.
Yeah, it's a little strange here. I was expecting him to warp in at the ramp. You know, 3-4 sentries. Or I guess you need 1 sentry, force field the ramp, and then like a 6 zealot, 1 sentry warp in. But Welmu is actually taking this very slowly here. And what are the? He's making for dubs, but the adepts can't go up cliffs. Welmu.
There.
Yeah, where are they? I'm not sure.
Actually, patch notes. We didn't even realize it just hit the servers. They decided adepts not strong enough. They are now cliff jumpers like Reapers. They weren't like the Reaper enough yet. But now that they're cliff jumpers, they decided we really achieved that design overlap that we were looking for. You know? And here we go. We've got all the units warping in here, and a little bit of potential move out with the Zerglings not going to be finishing up. And this is a tight choke.
I don't see how this could work. I think Welmu gave True way too much time here. Yeah, he needed to be. He needed to be about as crazy as he was in the game on Bridgehead, where gateway's finished. That's when it's time to go, not when you feel like you're ready. Because when you feel like you're ready, that's when your opponent is also ready.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. And he's just moving this 1 spine crawler back and forth. He's got a lot of roaches here. Maybe super awesome force fields gets him through this, but. It doesn't look like we have any sort of follow-up coming in. He's not even mining.
He's committed here. Once the time warp goes down, he's going to have to make use of it.
Well, he's moving in. He force fields that off. He could get a snipe on the 3rd. This is a really difficult situation. Stalkers caught out in the front. Oh, nice corrosive bile there, landing directly in the middle, getting lots of splash damage off. In the meantime, the Mothership Core fighting off with the Queen. Queen wins, and it turns out not a lot of recourse for Welmu here. He's just got to keep warping in like an absolute maniac. But the Zerg forces are overwhelming, just overrunning absolutely everything. And just not enough corrosive biles to kill that off. And the red shuttle returns. GG, well played. Good night, GG. And that is all. That is all she wrote. Okay, they actually do leave the game. Nice, well done. And True is victorious. Well done for True. So, we are out of our first series. We've got 2 more series. Don't go anywhere at all, because this is only the beginning of the fantasticness that is going to occur tonight. Before we move on, going to go ahead and announce 2 winners of free $10 gift cards. Totally awesome and free. We have Koi Pyrus, and we also have Spirau, which is Spirraw. So, what does that mean? How do they win? I just tuned in and I want to win 10 free dollars. Well, it's very easy. All you need to do is create an account on Azubu. First of all, you're going to want to do that so you can chat and hang out with everybody, because that's fun. You're watching TV? No, you're watching a stream. Streams, you get to chat. Way better. Anyway, what you're going to do is you're going to follow Azubu TV. That's at Azubu TV. Then you're going to follow, this is on Twitter, right? Yeah. And then you're going to follow Team Grav, TEAMGRAV. And you're going to tweet at us, tweet at both of those things that I just said, your ID, and you will be entered to win a random draw of a free $10. What other promotions do we have going on, QXC?
You're also going to want to head over to Matcherino. Yes. Matcherino is where you can add money to the prize pool for each of these show matches. If you use the coupon code that we're providing in chat, Matcherino will give the prize pool $1 free when you log in with your Twitch account and use that coupon code. After you give them a free $1 to each match that you want to be supportive of, you can also donate some of your own money if you want. But definitely start with that coupon code, because Matcherino is covering that first $1.
Absolutely. And the next match upcoming is Snoot versus State. And very easily the coupon code is Snoot State. That's like it's like a government run by Snoot, which would be very zergy and interesting and lots of democracy for everyone, I'm sure. Yes, and speaking of, there's no transition. We're gonna go to a break, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Snoot versus State coming up next.